Good evening. India will be taking on minnows Hong Kong in the Asia Cup in Dubai today. So after having won by 5 wickets against Pakistan, today is likely to be a slightly low-key affair with India taking on Hong Kong. India, the #1 side in T20 internationals. Hong Kong, the 20th ranked team in the world. So really poles apart there for these two teams. What will Team India look to do? Will this be a glorified net session? Will they look to experiment tonight? Will they go with their best team possible? Because Hong Kong, when the last time these two teams met, Hong Kong gave India a bit of a scare. They came very close to winning and lost the match by 26 runs. That was in the ODIs. This is a T20 format. Suddenly, things can go the other team's way. This balances in a way the two teams because it's a shorter format. What is it going to be like? I'm joined by Ashok Malhotra, former India cricketer and former selector, who is here with us. Also joining me is Santosh Suri from Dubai. Let's get straight into it, gentlemen. India versus Hong Kong. What are you expecting today, Ashok sir?
I think it is David versus Korea. There is no two ways about it. But the shorter the format, tougher it is. Because you have to keep intensity for 20 hours. Longer version, these minnows can't keep the intensity going, be it Test cricket, be it ODI. But when it comes to 2020 cricket, you have to, keep the intensity for 20 overs. And 20 overs is such that one good over while batting or while bowling can turn the tide in favor. So you've got to be careful. I'm not saying India is a head and shoulder above Hong Kong. There's no match whatsoever. But you can always have an off day, or so they can have a great day. So definitely be careful because you want to top the group. You've already beaten Pakistan. You want to beat Hong Kong and top the group. And hope that you play either Sri Lanka or Bangladesh.
Then that takes us to the next question of what will the team management look to do today? Santosh sir, any news on what the playing 11 is likely to be? Are there going to be any experiments? I know that before this Asia Cup began, there was this talk around how the team will keep on experimenting. But can we see possibly an Ashwin here? There are some left-handers in the Hong Kong squad. Or, of course, we'll get into the details of Dinesh Karthik over Rishabh Pant, or Rishabh Pant better than Dinesh Karthik. But overall, are there any changes expected, or will they go in with their best team?
See, I expect a couple of changes at least, but this Indian team management, you never know. They keep all their cards close to the chest, and it is impossible to, judge. And these days, means the strategy has been so flummoxing that you just can't predict who will be in, who will be out, who will be given chance, who will not be given. So judging from the nets that India had yesterday, Ravichandra Ashwin and Rishabh Pant had a very long stint, and most of the settled players had not come to the ground also because it was optional. So, but then you can't judge from the nets these days if somebody is working very hard that is going to play tomorrow. Like we saw against Pakistan before the toss, Ravichandran Ashwin was bowling, his heart out in the nets, and when the 11 came, he was sitting outside. So there are no indicators at all. And when you have, players like Jadeja or Bhuvneshwar Kumar coming for press conferences, they have just no authority to tell you what the 11 could be, what changes could be, what strategy could be. So that is the problem. Unless, captain or even vice captain or the head coach comes, then we can have some clear indication. But these days, you have this players from, who are not going to reveal too much, and they just tell about how the match was and how the match happened and how we performed well. Beyond that, it is impossible to judge. But still, seeing from the scenario, we can think that there might be a couple of changes with Pant and Ashwin at the most coming in the 11.
That's the next big question that I was going to get to. But before that, didn't Jadeja in the press conference say that this is out of my syllabus when he was asked a question?
Correct. Actually, most of the questions that are asked are outside the syllabus,
I
and
think, was
that's
it
why
on
we
the
don't
playing
know.
11? I think it was on the playing 11, likely.
Yeah, absolutely,
And he said, this is
absolutely.
out of my syllabus.
No, why Pant was left out of the 11? He said this
Yeah.
is out of my syllabus. Or you tell him what the next match strategy would be, or who would come in, or what was this. So obviously they are not going to,
Yeah.
stick their neck out and put their neck on the anvil. So
Yeah.
better it is to be diplomatic and joke it
Yes.
out. So that has
Yeah.
been the strategy over
just
the years.
just be funny about it. But Dinesh Karthik and Rishabh Pant, we've had this conversation even post the India Pakistan match. Ashok sir having very strong opinion on that. You've said that even before the Asia Cup began, that there's no way you expect Dinesh Karthik to be playing right now, given especially over Rishabh Pant. Even the numbers show that. And Santosh sir and I, we did a show yesterday. I think it was about the numbers and how they stack up better in favor of Rishabh Pant, not because of they don't have similar roles in terms of their batting spot, but the fact that Dinesh Karthik hasn't been able to replicate his success of the IPL in T20 internationals, and given that he has this very limited role of this super specialist finisher, wouldn't India want to go in with a more versatile Rishabh Pant who can bat up and down the order, is a better wicket keeper, batsman? That was the discussion we were having, both of us. What are your thoughts on that?
See, Neha, whatever DK has done, he's done it in IPL, where international bowlers are one, others are domestic. When you play international cricket, there are five international bowlers. Rishabh Pant has done it at international level, be it Test cricket, be it ODI, be it T20. And I would, if I was given a coach's job for a day, I would open with Rishabh Pant, give him a license to hit because he's a natural striker and have Deepak Huda inside. Rishabh Pant for Dinesh Karthik and Deepak Huda for KL Rahul. KL Rahul will have to get some game time. I understand today he might get runs and people will forget everything. But the fact is you can't have 1, 2, 3, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul and Virat Kohli. Three people who seem to be the weak link. So I would pick people on form. Rishabh Pant as an opening batsman because it will be left-right combination as an opener, and then Deepak Huda as a guy who will accelerate in the last 2, 3, 4 overs the way Deepak Huda has been batting. So this looks a more solid team than the one we are playing. Yeah. So I don't know what is their thinking, what logics they have. They know better because they are there. They are, but from outside it looks to be. It seems to be. If you put both the teams on the paper, the team I'm suggesting, it seems to be a better side.
Also, this talk around KL Rahul, we've had this conversation as well. KL Rahul not having enough game time, but the team sticking with him because of what he's done in the past. Santosh sir, though, do you feel that KL Rahul will continue to open right now, especially against Hong Kong? Because if game time is what we're talking about, then this is the ideal opportunity for him.
Yeah, like we had discussed a couple of days ago, Rahul had just a single delivery to face. So in that situation, it's very difficult to judge whether he's in form, not form. It was a very good delivery. It nipped in and took the inside edge and onto the stumps. So you can't really blame him for that. So there was no way of judging whether he's in form, whether he's recovered his form. You can, in any format, get out to the first ball. So it would be very, unkind or a hard cut if he was just dropped because of one innings. See, the problem with this tournament is that you have only 2 games in Group A and 3 games in Super 4. So the format and the matches are so less that there is hardly any scope to, experiment. Luckily, we have a team like Hong Kong where at least we can have some scope to bring in some extra players who are sitting on the bench and give them a try. If it was, say, Bangladesh or even Afghanistan, we would have been really thinking hard that we have to win this match. So luckily, Hong Kong is there, although we can't take any team lightly. Like you said, they came so close to, chasing down that target in ODI. So even the Indian team would be wary of, about their strategy. And another thing is, See, if they win the toss, what do India do? Do they allow their batsmen to have full 20 overs, or do they bowl first? And if they bowl first and this Hong Kong just manage 80, 90, 100 runs, then hardly any purpose will be served for testing out the batsmen. So these are the problem of the cricket when you are planning for matches and ahead. So anyhow, you have to make the most of whatever is there on the table.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's talk about now Virat Kohli, because before every match we need to talk about Virat Kohli. He looked, it was a nervy start, Ashok sir, and again, after the match we spoke about it, that he'd set himself up in a good way, all the nervous shots, all the nervousness in the beginning, all of that, he managed to keep it aside and then started scoring, and then just when he needed to capitalize, he got out. In a situation like today, how will he be approaching his innings, knowing that he is playing against a team that may not have the best bowling attack, but at the same time, he wants to come back to form. He does not want to lose his wicket early on. How do you think he'll be approaching his innings?
See, Meha, I don't know how he's going to approach it. The first and foremost thing is 1 wicket has to go before he comes in. He's number 3.
Yeah.
So the first wicket, if they bat for 10 overs, 12 overs, then what? Then how he's going to rebuild his inning? How he's going to reinvent himself? So it is not going to be easy for Virat. In last match, we were saying he's not getting any luck, but last game he got lucky also. He was dropped, he was getting inside edges, which is going to fine leg, inside driving, which is going back to bowler. So a lot of iffy shots, but still he survived that. And the moment he played that shot over mid-wicket, I thought maybe it was his thing. But the way he threw away his wicket, if I may say, threw away his wicket, there's no need for that. When you got 20 overs to play, you were out of form, you got to take the... Because the problem with him is, he's so used to getting those hundreds. Now he's rushing through the 100. So he plays those shots, which normally he wouldn't have. So that is has been undoing. And for even today's game, Hong Kong game, supposing KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma bat for first 10 overs, 12 overs, 13 overs. Because KL is also out of form, Rohit is also out of form. For them, it is a great opportunity, and they're batting ahead of Virat Kohli. Then number 3, whom you going to send? If they bat for 12 overs, 13 overs, will you send Hardik Pandya? Will you send Suri Yadav? Whom you going to send? So for me, there's still a question mark on Virat Kohli, and if he does not get this game or does not get the big score, then he'll still be out of form. And believe you me, as a former cricketer, I can tell you, it can be the biggest plan. But when you're out of form, you're walking on water. You've got butterflies in your stomach. And that is exactly happening to him. He needs one big knock. We have been talking about for 3 years, but that one big knock doesn't seem to be coming. And he seems to be in a panic to reach that big total, which is not.
And also you're right, in wanting it so badly, when you're against a weaker opposition, when you know that it's going to be slightly easier in that sense, how will you approach your batting? But let's also talk about Hardik Pandya and the transformation. How good has he been, gentlemen? I mean, the more we keep talking about him, and we still will, we'll run out of words because of how he's changed everything about his batting, about his bowling, and the importance that he brings now with this being an all-rounder and being so good. Mickey Arthur says this about Santosh sir, he said it about Hardik Pandya, about how it's almost like you have 12 players in the team. Compared him to the great Jacques Kallis, saying that what Jacques Kallis did for us, for South Africa, Hardik is doing that for Team India. And that's a huge compliment, but at the same time, given how well he is, he's performing for the team, I wonder how the team management looks at his workload. How, like today, will he get to bowl all 4 overs? Will they want to keep him back? Will they not, what are your thoughts on that?
Actually, when we compare Hardik to Jacques Kallis, the most important thing was Jacques Kallis used to bat on top 4,
yeah,
and
3,
Hardik and Hardik bats a much lower. So for attaining his maximum out of him, we have to send him. Of course, that is for the future when he matures more and a couple of senior guys retire. Then probably he can bat into top 4. That is for the future. Of course, like Mickey said that he is taking place of 2 players. So that is the handy talent that he has that comes really handy for Team India. He can, change the game either with the bat or with the ball. So, and he can perform equally well with, in both the departments. Plus, he's a brilliant fielder, motivator, and he lifts the morale of the team. And probably even a, future India captain we see him as. So, post IPL, his maturity has been amazing. And when he was named the captain of the Gujarat, Titans team, I was very skeptical that he may, just fall apart, but he did so marvelously. And the person who I expected will do brilliantly was Ravindra Jadeja, but he went the other way. So it was totally antithesis of what we had thought. And anyhow, it's good for Indian cricket that player like, Hardik Pandya is making his presence felt in the Indian team. And probably in future, he may be compared to Kapil Dev, although nobody says that nobody can have another Kapil Dev. But still, even if he does even 50-60% of what Kapil Dev achieved, it will be a great thing for him.
Absolutely. And in fact, when we spoke about this, we did a show on the resurrection of Hardik Pandya, Ashok sir, and the numbers are incredible before IPL and after this IPL. Just the way he's transformed himself. Batting, bowling, he's coming up the order, putting himself out of the comfort zone for Gujarat Titans, leadership, of course. When people said that he's never captained any team before, well, how can he captain an IPL side? And he just doesn't come across as a personality that could lead. And he's proven everybody wrong, all the critics wrong, not just with his leadership, with his batting, bowling, everything that people said that was negative around him. He has channelized it into this extremely positive, what can I say, in this Zen-like manner. Even the way after hitting a 6, just the absolute calm he had around him, almost like a boss, there, I did it, it was fascinating to watch.
Absolutely, Meha. I think Captain Gujarat batting has been best disguised because it comes and he led. And what Santosh is saying is he's ready to bat at number 4. If I may say, although Surya Kumar Yadav is still there, in case the Virat is not there, then Surya can go 3, and you can have Hardik at 4. He can consolidate. Before that he was a slam bang kind of a thing, and I was his a major critic when he was playing without bowling. For me, he did not fit in, without his bowling. But now the way he's playing, and as you said, Zen-like, he is like Zen-like. Beat bowling is very calm, very composed. Batting, he is unruffled, even in titles of situations. So that is what it is. And definitely he has the leadership quality, which neither Rishabh Pant has nor KL Rahul has.
Yeah.
Believe me. They might be leading it, but after Rohit Sharma, or even with Rohit Sharma, if Rohit Sharma is the test captain, then this guy has to be the white ball captain, because he's leading from front, be it bowling, be it batting, be with his attitude, which rubs on the entire team. So I think sooner than later, he'll be captain in India in white ball cricket. And the way he's playing cricket, he, as you very rightly, Mickey said, we're playing with 12 people. And not to forget his fielding. He's a top class fielder. Yeah. So altogether, he's a lethal combination, a great package, which speaks very highly for his. We are short of adjectives for Hardik Pandya as of now. Yeah. The way he's playing cricket, I hope he does not break down. That is one. And secondly, I hope that Zen-like thing keeps with him, because before that he was quite an arrogant so-and-so. Yeah. But now he is calm, composed, and leading from front, and everybody loves him. Everybody loves the kind of cricket he is playing. And we all are great fans of cricket and cricketers like Hardik Pandya.
Yeah, just the turnaround itself. I think he's turned those critics into fans. You know, he said, "I'm not going to do anything negative." His coach, I spoke to him. He said that, you know, the first thing he said after coffee with Karan was that you will never see anything negative in the papers or in the media about me from here on, and he has stayed true to that word. Since then, the only thing we've been hearing about Hardik Pandya is about his performance and how he's reinvented his cricket. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Santosh, Suri, as well as Ashok, Malhotra, for joining us here. India versus Hong Kong. Hopefully, you know, we can get to see some competitive cricket between India and Hong Kong. We saw that in the last Asia Cup in 2018. Will it be similar this time around? Hopefully, we'll get a competitive game with India winning, of course, comfortably in the end. That's it then. From us, News9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to for all the latest. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.